Hello everyone, this is our first video as you know, so please subscribe and like. Today we will do an air crash investigation in this new channel Aviation Info, or rather a ditching investigation. So let's get started. So the date was January 15th and it was a normal flight for Captain Chesley Sullenberger, also known as Sully, and that is exactly the name with which we will refer to him today in this video. And another experienced pilot in this plane was First Officer Jeffrey Skiles, who was also in a captain's rank. This was US Airways Flight 1549, whose radio code was Cactus 1549. This flight was going to Charlotte Douglas International Airport from LaGuardia Airport. Just after takeoff, it was in a situation where it was hit by a flock of birds and they lost both engines, that means no thrust, at a mere altitude of 3000 feet. They had no option to go to any runway, though on the way they were asking for permissions to land on runways, but they knew that they could not do it. So they ditched the plane in the Hudson River. Now what is the ditching mean? Ditching is actually when a plane is landed in water. Now there is no land below, so we can't call it landing, and watering would be very not good. So the name was given as ditching. And the plane was an A320, Airbus A320, which was ditched in the Hudson River, and 155 people were saved. Now I'll tell you how exactly is a water landing, or rather, how is a successful ditching done. So let's continue now. And first of all, you need to turn on the APU, because without that you can't control the plane, because you don't have any thrust and you don't have electricity, and you need hydraulics, and hydraulics can't be working without electricity. The APU, auxiliary power unit, will give you electricity. If you want to know the meaning of these hard words that we are going to use in today's video, please comment and we will make a video for that. So then we turn on the APU. The next step that Sully did was he started ignition. Now you don't need to start ignition. That will just give light to the whole cabin and all the cockpit. But APU will provide the electricity at least for hydraulics and the main instruments needed. So ignition is not a compulsory step. So let's go ahead. Then if the waves are going 180 degrees from north, that is from 0 degrees, your plane should be exactly parallel to the waves. Yeah, now waves are important, because if it's not parallel to the waves, the plane will break into pieces, and that has happened in quite a few ditchings. But yeah, you need to go parallel, so it is very good. Now what next? Now I'll tell you specifically for Airbus. We'll come to Boeing in just a minute. So if you're on an Airbus plane, and that's exactly on which Sully was, you need to press that ditching button right over your head, close to the co-pilot, on the back right, on the top. So you need to press that ditching button, which will close all the open spaces that allow air to come in, fresh air, breathable air to come in. So if you press that, it will close it. Now back to Boeing. What if you're on a Boeing one, you ask me? So on a Boeing plane, you need to do is nothing. You just need to continue with your landing, and you'll save some precious seconds because it is automatic. There is a sensor, the landing gear sensor. It will see if there is land beneath or there is water beneath, and if there is land, the knobs will be open. If it's water, they will close automatically. So few precious seconds saved on an Airbus plane. Now what Sully did was he forgot to do this. Yeah, he forgot to press that ditching button over your head, and that is the reason why the water went inside the A320. If you have seen the actual footages, if not, we'll be showing you those, so don't worry. And Sully in an interview told, okay, I'll come back to that interview later. Now what you need to do, continuing the landing, you need to evacuate the plane. And that's a common sense, of course. But yeah. Now, Sully in an interview told that he was so confident that he could do it. Now that's the confidence that you want from a captain and also a first officer. So yeah, Sully left the whole plane after checking the plane twice and seeing that no one was left. So now that is a really good thing about Sully. He was so dedicated. There should be more people like him. Now I would request my friend and an aviation enthusiast, Master Sushant, to continue. So Sushant, please continue.
Thank you very much, Tilak. So let's continue. Now there were many researches done on why the engines not tolerate such pressure and failed. It was hit by Canadian geese, which are heavy, plus a piece of metal broke out which cut the comparative more inner part of the blade. Another thing that Sully did was that he was ready to sacrifice the plane to save 155 lives on the board. Yeah, 155 lives. Now you would think that it is a common sense, but it was not like that. Pilots are thought that if there is some problem in the plane and if they know that it is going to crash, they should crash the plane in the water. And if water bodies, then they will crash in the scarcely populated areas because the people on the plane are anyways not going to survive. Now this is what they were told. Any other pilot wouldn't even have attempted to land it and would have just crashed in the water. US Airways told Stuart Sullenberger and Styles, both the captain and the first officer. Yeah, you heard it right. Even though they had done such a great job of saving the passengers. Then first they said that the left engine would have been started again as if its blade was still rotating. And if the blades are rotating, the engine could be started. And one engine is enough to reach the runway. But when the both engines were retained after it, it was proved that the engines are badly damaged. So it was impossible for the engines to start. Then US Airways continuing their try, there were some simulations done in the same conditions that they were flying in, and they were successful. When Styles asked, how many times did they practice before the sims? It was said 17. And then Styles said, what they were facing was life and death situation and it was no video game. And Sully noticed that they were turning back right after the birds died and asked for decision making time, and then the sims were done there and there without any practices. It was unsuccessful. Captain Sully's decision was right now. What does 20,000 hour flight mean? Thank you very much. We will be choosing 2 questions from the comments. So please comment. This is our first video, so please forgive us for any mistakes. Aviation is the future. Aviation will be everything. This channel is dedicated to make aviation safer. Please like and subscribe our channel and do share it and do comment.